the Off-Grid family. Today we're going to be doing a reshoot of one of my favourite videos. It's my favourite video because it's so cheap and easy to make, yet so expensive to buy, that it just makes no sense in buying it. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making char cloth. Now, when I originally made this video of doing the char cloth, I had no idea about video editing software, I had no idea about cameras or any of that sort of thing. So although the information was correct, the quality was really poor. So I'm going to try and do it again with a bit more knowledge, and hopefully you'll enjoy this. Let's get on. Okay, so what you see in front of me is all you need to be able to make char cloth, except the heat source. All I've got is two tins that clip inside each other. You can actually use a paint. You can actually use a paint tin or any other tin you want, as long as it's got a lid. I'm just using the tin that clips inside as a simple lid. This is an old tin of potatoes and sweet corn. But as I say, you can use any metal tin that has a lid. I've got a hammer and a nail. And believe it or not, this is a second-hand nail. I'm not even paying for the nail. And then I've got old clothes. Now, the reason I've got old clothes, well, baby clothes. With all of our baby clothes, we either give them to charity, we sell them, or whatever. But these ones, unfortunately, were just too far gone. And the thing about them is they're 100% cotton. So I don't like to waste anything. So we need cotton for this. So I will use these clothes. You know, I really do try not to waste anything. So now I'm going to cut these up, and that's the first part of what we need to do. So I'll do that and get back to you. Now, the only thing about using old clothes for your source of cotton is it's not going to be as easy to cut as if you were using a big piece of cotton that you could then cut into strips. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to cut bits off of them and make it so that then they're going to be easier to cut into strips. I've got two different pairs of scissors here, so I'm not sure which are the sharpest. So I'll try both. If you do decide to use old baby clothes, be wary that there's not any buttons hidden in it. You don't want to melt them because, you know, they're going to give off some really bad fumes. So I'll just cut them straight off. And I'm also going to cut off any of the extra bands that are on it. So I want this all to heat at the same speed. I actually remember my son wearing this, and I think my daughter. Right, any of the waste we will be chucking away, but you know, we're trying not to waste anything. Another thing I forgot to mention was try and get rid of the labels as well, because the labels will not be cotton, they will be a plastic, you know, a nylon of some kind or something. I'm not entirely sure what they're made of, to be honest. Okay, so there's that opened up, and now I'm just going to cut the neck off. Okay, now to just get rid of the labels. Did I get them all? Okay, there we go. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into strips. Now, you can get circular cutters for doing fabric, and that would be so much handier right now, but I don't have one. I've got other tools, but nothing of this nature, unfortunately. Okay, my way was way too slow, so I found a quicker way. Grab yourself a sharp kitchen knife, or any knife, and just cut it out. It's the easiest, quickest way to do it. If you haven't got a sharp knife, stay with the scissors, but this is much quicker. It would be if I can get the knife in there, that is. get it on the hem. Here we go. And I'm actually leaving it in strips about that wide. Okay, I've only done the 3 of them because I won't have enough time to do all of this today. But that's all the waste. Considering they should have, they were being thrown in the bin. I think, I think we're doing quite well on the recycling front. Okay, the next thing we need to do is make the chamber to do the burning in. Now, char cloth works the way it does because you don't allow oxygen to get into the burn process. So what we need to do is we need to just make a couple of holes in the tin so that all the steam and such thing, smoke and everything can escape, but so that very little oxygen can get back in. I'll show you how to do that now. It's really straightforward. Take your lid. Mine's obviously a tin, but you can use an actual paint can or whatever. And all we need to do is drive a nail into it a couple of times. That's it done. I've done 5 holes. I might need to do a couple more, but as it's virtually the middle of the night at the moment, I don't want to make too much noise, so I'm going to try that. Okay, so the last thing we've got to do is fill up our tin with cloth. Now, I could obviously just roll all this up and shove it all in, but it wouldn't work. You wouldn't get any char cloth out of that at all. It would be too tightly bunched. So I'm going to just take a few bits, see how that is. Do you know what? That's enough. That'll be enough. So we now know 1 child's t-shirt per tin. No, but that'll be enough. So that'll be enough for probably 1.5 more. So we'll take that out now and we'll burn it, and I'll show you how the process works and what to look out for. Okay, so this is my second attempt at this. I lit my rocket stove, got it all ready, and it started to pour down, and then it started to hail, and then it sort of tried to snow, and it looks like it's about to start raining again, but I've got to try. So I'm going to put the cloth we're going to char on now. When the bottom of this starts to get hot enough, we'll start seeing smoke come out of the holes, and the smoke's actually quite flammable. And that's just basically all of the stuff inside burning, but without very much oxygen. And so what we're looking for now is the smoking to start.
My dad is making some char cloth. Char cloth is very good for starting fires. You can even start fires as a cold spark.
Okay, the first signs anything's happening is you can hear a slight sizzling from inside the cans. In about 2 or 3 minutes, depending on whether the heat stays at its current level, you should start seeing smoke bellowing out. I'm not 100% sure it's being picked up on camera, but you'll see smoke starting to come out of the holes. This smoke's quite flammable, so just be careful. If you're trying to get too close to it and there's a flame that can touch it, it will set on fire. That's not a problem at all, just leave it to burn. I won't do anything in this process. The last time I did this, I did it in hot coals, and to be honest, I found it was a lot quicker. I think that the hot coals were able to engulf the entirety of the tin, the heat, whereas this is fluctuating on and off whether the heat's touching it enough, you know what I mean? So we'll see how we get on. Okay, we're back to getting a better amount of smoke coming out of it now. And you should be able to hear a fizzing sound, which is the sound that you get just before it starts to smoke, and then throughout the smoking process until nearly the end. Okay, as you can see, we are slowly getting there, but it is taking ages. I've got to say, it is quite a windy day, so there is a lot of, you know, 1 minute the flames are really hot coming from the rocket stove, the next minute they're being blown sideways, and, you know, so that could be the problem, but as I say, hot coals were the way to go last time. Okay, so the smoke's died down now, coming out of the little holes. So that should mean it's done, but I'm very dubious about this. I don't think this has worked. If it has, I will be surprised, to be honest. I'm going to leave it for about 5 more minutes, just to make sure. If it starts to smoke up again, though, I will continue the process. Okay, so it's stopped smoking, so what do you do now? What you have to do is take it off the heat. So I'll do that. I can't do that one-handed, so I'll show you in a sec. Okay, so you need to stop the oxygen getting to it while it cools down. Now if you'd done it in a paint can or something, you could turn it over in soil and it would just block off the air vents. But I'm just going to plonk a piece of cast iron on top of it, and that should just stop any excess oxygen getting into it. And I'll show you what you do after that in just a sec, once it's cooled. Okay, so here it is. I haven't had a chance to check it yet, but as I say, I'm not holding out much hope. Something wasn't working, and I'll be able to figure out what in just a second. Yeah, look, straight away you can see. That should be black. It's smouldered, but not done. I wonder if it's done any... Yeah. Okay, so some has, some hasn't. Let's get this out of the way. Now I'll use that tin again. Nothing wrong with the actual process, but there. Okay, I can already see what's gone wrong. I put too much in. I put way too much in. That's what always happens. You try to just take it a bit slow and steady. I've gone too overboard. But we've got some nice bits. You can always tell which bits are char cloth. They should pinch off like that. Look at that. It falls apart. So what I'm going to do to test this, although I know it already is, let me get all of the... Now, I'm going to cut all the bits that are char cloth out, and I'll put the rest of it on to char again. But we don't want that over with us now, because we don't want to accidentally set light to it all. We'll have that bit. And it should... Let me just open it up. When it's char cloth, it's just like extremely fine silk, and it should just tear without any pressure at all. Okay, so we'll use this bit. Now what I want to do is test it, see if it will catch a spark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the blind to make it a little bit darker in here. Let's get that so it's in sight. Okay, now I've got my ferrocerium rod. There you go. From that you can get anything lit, you know, any dry tinder or whatever you've got. So it wasn't the best. I didn't get, you know, I didn't do it all. Just follow my warning. Don't put too much in. Do it in small batches. I went too overboard. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that helped you, and I hope it was a bit better than the last one. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment if you've got any questions. Okay, see you again soon. Bye.